Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kelly, for your kind words. It's a pleasure to be with you people today, and I shall give you a short dissertation on my experiences, I guess we'll call it. Before I do that, I want to remember a couple of guys that are here today and others that aren't, but they're all living in other villages or towns. Jim Wilkins landed on HR. Jack Hadley landed at HR. Fred Bernard landed at HR. Roy Shaw landed at HR. Alex Greer landed at HR. Bill Ross and Jack Martin. Ted Butler, HR. George Hadley, Jack Hadley's brother, was killed on the 26th of June in France, of course. Don Bernard, Fred Bernard's brother, who was 20 like I was killed on the beaches on the 6th of June. A and B companies sailed out of Southampton on the SS Conaway on the morning of June the 4th to rendezvous with other ships. There was a 24-hour delay before General Eisenhower gave the go. Before steaming around the Isle of Wight into the channel headed for Normandy, France. We were in our hammocks early. It would be an early reveille at 3:30 a.m. 2 men from each section were sent to the galley to get our breakfast of eggs, bacon, tea, bread, and jam. At 4:30 a.m. we were ordered to go on deck to our appointed stations. We climbed into the landing craft, which were at deck level, and lowered away into a very rough sea. Five landing craft carried 11 platoon on the left, 10 platoon in the center, 12 platoon on the right. Attached were engineers, SIGs, and medical personnel. We had been told the Fort Garry tanks would go in ahead of us, but the sea was so rough that this was impossible. As we approached shore, the craft I was in hit an obstacle with a teller mine on top. Everyone in front was killed. Those of us left bailed out into fairly deep water to struggle ashore. When I struggled ashore finally, I looked to the left where 10 platoon was, and they had touched down directly in front of a big bunker pillbox, still belching out heavy and light machine gun fire. 10 platoon was wiped out, lying face down in the sand. 11 platoon had better luck in that the craft they were in went off course out of most of the heavy fire. They were able to get over the wall and drop grenades into weapon sleds and so on. Major Dalton was with them. Though he had a rather bad head wound, he did his best to rally the remains of his B company. And this is a postscript. John Lazan and I completed advanced infantry training at Camp Borden during the summer of 1943. We reinforced the Queen's Own Rifles after we arrived in England. John was 10 years older than most of us. He had a great sense of humor and joked about situations we found ourselves in as we did landing exercises along the south coast of England during the fall, winter, spring of 1943-44. The Queen's Own Rifles suffered 63 fatal casualties on D-Day. 35 were from B Company. 62 have known graves. John's name is engraved on the Bayou War Cemetery Memorial. He has no known grave. Thank you very much.